Ohio and have had my own agency since 1995. 3 years ago, I started a background on Obama, and the first thing I found was him using a Connecticut Social Security number, and I instantly knew that it could not be legitimate because it was issued. First of all, he didn't live in Connecticut, and Social Security numbers were assigned by where you lived when you applied, and the number was issued in the years 1977 to 1975. Subsequently, I was able to pin down the date that it was issued to March 28, 1977. And he would have been 15 years old and in high school in Hawaii.
Now, your evidence is so overwhelming, yet the questions remain unanswered. So now, in response to you, first of all, they call everybody like you or me a racist.
Right.
And then number two, that this is simply a zip code clerical error. I read all the different attack pieces, or as many as I could in the last 24 hours. How do these people come up with a zip code clerical error?
Well, they're grasping at straws at this point. And first, I'd like to say, I mean, how can we possibly be racist when he's half white?
Well, that doesn't even matter. I mean, all that is it's the progressive defense that.
Oh yeah,
and
they're getting extremely desperate. Indeed. Now, the whole thing about the clerical error, it's totally wrong. It's not a clerical error. The zip codes in Hawaii start with the first three letters, 968. At least a lot of them do. Well, it happens that Connecticut is 068, and that's where they're trying to say it's a typographical error. Except Obama lived at zip codes in Hawaii that ended with 14, 22, and 26. So what I did is I went to the postal website and found that the numbers, the Connecticut numbers ending in 26 or 22 and 26 never existed. Those were numbers that were never assigned. Now, there was a number, 06814, that did exist, but it said it was a unique number. And I called the Danbury post office where that zip code was assigned to, and I talked to an employee there, and I said, it says that it's a unique number, and he said it was. He said that number was assigned for the exclusive use of Union Carbide starting in the early 80s, and it was just taken out of service several years ago, he told me.
And so, given your work and what you know, what conclusion then do you come to with this Obama SSN?
He has a number that he's been using illegally since he was 25 years old.
Yeah. And the truth is the president's Social Security number.
Right.
Begins with the digits 042.
Right. And those were exclusively set aside 040 to 049, exclusively for the use of Connecticut residents.
So he would have, what are the conceivable ways that he could have gotten a number from Social Security that there's no way in this world he could have?
None. There's no conceivable way.
1977, he's attending Punahou,
right.
And he's in the fifth grade, and he was at.
He would have been in high school.
I'm sorry. He started Punahou in the fifth grade. Is what I wanted to say. When his mother brings him back from Indonesia.
Correct.
His first job is at Baskin Robbins on the corner of King and Punahou Streets in Honolulu. I looked up the address.
Yeah, if we're to believe that is true.
If that's true. So this is the first place he has a job that we're aware of, and again, because the official story is just riddled with lies anyhow.
Right.
But would you lie about pitching ice cream? I don't know. But he gets an SSN and now they're saying with an area code number, or whatever the hell they say.
Yeah.
He's 15. He lives with his grandparents.
Right.
On Bertina Street.
Right.
It has a zip code. And Danbury, and he said the Danbury zip code, none of this there's no way it can be made up.
None at all.
So again, I am as confused as I always am because the OBOTs, as they're now called, the Obama defenders, and
Right.
particularly ones that I know that really have no business doing this story because they can't tell you the difference between the hospitals.
Right.
But the OBOTs now, and there's legions of them that have decided that I'm going to be their target,
Yeah.
but they say, oh no, he has a social security number that's really a zip code. Now, then he's got to be the only guy in America that has that as well, right?
They're getting desperate. They don't know where else to turn because it's all starting to unravel. And the closer we get to the election, the more people are going to be inspired to come out with information they know. Somebody that worked at Occidental will eventually come out and tell what they know. People are just still afraid.
I'm going to ask a question, and I'll set it up and come back. What are they afraid of? Our guest is Susan Daniels.
I, of course, am the unknown comic, and comedy is my bag. I always like to start off by handing out some autographed 8x10 pictures of myself. Here we go.
The unknown comic. This picture that we have up on the website this morning, KHOW.com, it is the unknown president. It just worked out. 6:30 KHOW Thursday morning, August 23rd, 2012. I'm Peter Boyles. 84 the high. Chance at rain, 61 tonight, 86 on Friday. Tomorrow's Friday and sunny, and 83 on Saturday. Kind enough to be with us again. And as I said, in this ever-growing group of people that I have so much admiration for, Susan Daniels. She's a licensed PI, and she's in Ohio, and she really has been involved in the Who is Barack Obama. And I don't know if you have your close to your computer this morning, Ms. Daniels, but if you could look at the picture of the unknown president on KHOW.com on my website, it cracked me up when I saw it because I've been calling it. You remember the Gong Show, and
Of course.
the guy would go, Chucky baby, Chucky.
It.
I did too, but remember the unknown comic?
Yes, I do.
Isn't this guy really the unknown president?
Oh yeah, we don't know anything about him.
We know nothing.
Mm-mm.
You said something prior to the break about fear, or they're trying to scare people.
Right.
Talk about that if you would.
Well, they can see. I mean, anybody can see the tide turning with this whole election. People in this country are finally starting to speak out. I think one thing that really impressed me and told me what is going to happen with this election was, well, actually there were two things. There was the whole Chickasaw thing, when so many people showed up at all the different restaurants across the country in support of the owner. And the other thing was that guy that owned the little bakery in Radford, Virginia, who refused to let the Biden party stop there. And he had just opened that business 3 months ago and knew that it would be great publicity for him, and he said no. He said because he didn't like the president saying, you didn't build that. And he took a stand, and he ended up getting more publicity than he would ever have gotten by Joe Biden stopping there.
Let me come back to some people who are sending me emails here about you.
Okay.
This is an email that says, let me jump and make it come up. I've had a couple come up, and I want this one to come back. Peter, I'm still confused. Is your guest talking about SSNs or zip codes? We're talking about SSNs, but if you would, Susan, go back over it again on the zip code clerical error, i.e. Social Security number from Connecticut.
Okay. The Social Security number that he uses is 042684425. That number was issued in Connecticut on March 28th, 1977. When I put that number into the databases, the name of Barack Hussein Obama comes up. Now, the zip codes, people are trying to say it was a typographical error because the zip codes in Hawaii start with 968. The zip codes in Connecticut start with 068. So they're trying to say that some Social Security Administration worker hit the wrong number, and that's how Barack Obama got that number. And I'm saying it's impossible because the zip codes in Hawaii where Obama lived were 968 968-22-96826. In Connecticut, there is no 06822 or 26, and 06814 was set aside for the exclusive use of the Union Carbide Company.
And this guy ain't no lamp.
No, he is definitely not a lamp.
Yeah. So, with just a few minutes again till the end of the segment, and you're so terrific.
Well, thank you.
No. Truth is, so now what? I mean, you were talking about as we get closer, the drum beat gets louder.
Oh, yes.
One of the things that made me happy, and not that I think he's the end all, also because I met him once and he's a stiff, but Stephen Forbes has joined the argument along with Donald Trump as who is Barack Obama. I was pleased only because Forbes has some clout.
Yes.
And Forbes joins. What do you think it's going to take, Susan, for this egg to break and this story to really spread wider than it has?
Just more and more people coming out with information they know. I mean, there had to be thousands of people in this cover-up. It had to be, because everybody that's working for a governmental agency who knows the truth knows what's going on. Yeah. And they're either worried about losing their job or they're just afraid.
What would they be afraid of? I mean, I hear that all the time, the fear factor.
Well, if you look in the background, I mean, there was a guy named, what was his, I can't think of his name right now. It was Lieutenant Quarles Harrison. Mm-hmm. And lieutenant is not a military or police designation. That was his first name. But the police arrested him in 2008 in Washington, D.C., and he had with him passport applications and other things from the State Department and in his car when he was arrested. Well, he immediately promised that he would help. He said that there were people inside the State Department and that were forging documents, forging passports, and that he would assist the police in it to get himself off the hook. Well, 1 week later, after he was arrested, he was found murdered in his car. This is not the first person that has been murdered and associated with the Obama administration. That's what people are afraid of. I think they're afraid of being killed.
Are you?